Hi, I'm Lisa Knight and I'm going to be your instructor this semester. I just wanted to take a little bit of time to introduce myself. I've been teaching at the community college for 22 years, and before that I taught AP Physics at high school for 6 years. So I have a combined experience of 28 years teaching physics. I have a master's from UNC Chapel Hill and another master's in instructional design from ECU. I love teaching community college, and I'm really excited to have this opportunity to work with you this summer. Let me take a little bit of time to orient you to your course. So when you open this up, you will see that there is an announcements button here at the top of the course. And this is really important because every week I will be making announcements. So when I grade, I usually try to grade the day after the due date, and if not, within 48 hours of the due date. And I will make a weekly announcement. And in that announcement, I will either have an audio file or video going over some of the important points, things that maybe you guys were consistently having challenges with, or things that you need to be mindful of, things that you've done really great. And I also will give you a reminder of what's coming up in the next due date. I also give feedback on your written work. So if you have any kind of assignment where you have to show work, you have to show calculations, etc., when you go to the grade book and you open up that grade, you should be able to see my feedback beside that grade. And so a lot of times, if I, especially at the beginning of the course, I like to give audio files. So I'll give you a link to an audio file that kind of goes over the feedback, and sometimes I'll write on things as well. I really encourage you to look out for the announcements every time you log into class, and make sure that you are staying up to date with them because a lot of important changes to the course, etc., will go out through the announcements. So please make sure you do. The next thing you'll see is a virtual office link, and the virtual office is going to be on Wednesdays from 10 to 11 or by appointment, because I realize some of you guys are working or have other obligations and may not be able to make it then. But if you will reach out to me, I will be able to set up a time to meet with you even at night or on the weekends. I have a Google Voice number that I really prefer you to try to contact me through, because I'm teaching at multiple colleges. I am a full-time instructor in Sanford, North Carolina at Central Carolina Community College. And on top of that, I teach at other colleges throughout the semester. So if you do decide to contact me, if you contact me via email, you may not get a response right away. I try to check my email every day, but I may only check it once. So you will want to send me a text via my Google Voice number, which is listed here at the virtual office link. And you just want to tell me your name, that you're at Craven Community College, and that you're taking Physics 252, and then ask me your question. And I usually get back to you immediately. So the first thing you're going to do to get started is you want to officially enroll in the course. And to do that, you're going to read through the welcome material, and specifically the syllabus. So you'll download the first part of the syllabus, which is my personal course expectations, grading system, etc., and then the part 2 syllabus, which is the college's general information. And then you will take a quiz. You can take this quiz as many times as you need to get an 80 or higher. And once you do that, you'll be able to access everything else in this course. Okay, so you can't do anything else until you access that. And once you are able to access that, you will be able to go to the BibLU link, which will take you to the bookstore, and you'll be looking for our book for Physics 252, and then you will get an access code for our book. Then you will take that access code and you will click on the Mastering Physics homework link, and then that will take you to it'll take you to our Mastering Physics online homework. And you'll want to use your access code to register for our course. And then if you want to, you can do the Introduction to Mastering Physics assignment. It is completely optional. It is not going to be included in the grade, but it just orients you to using Mastering Physics if you're not used to it. And then I've got a couple of resources here, just hints and strategies and resources for you to take note of as you work throughout the course. Now, this is a very different course than Physics 1. I know many of you are taking this because you're retaking it from a university, or maybe you're trying to avoid having to take it at a bigger university. That's fine, but it still covers a lot of material. It probably is the more difficult material in physics, I'll just be honest, because it has such a heavy calculus basis to it. And also, it's very fast paced. And so this is a 10-week course, which is better than the 5-week courses that you can take it at universities, but it still covers a lot of material quickly. So every week we will be going through at least one chapter, and at the end, there will be multiple chapters that you're going through. So there are 10 weeks, and in the first week, it will look like this. And notice that at the top of it, it says, in order to have access to it, to actually these materials, this is just kind of an overview of what you'll have. You need to take the syllabus quiz and make an 80 on it or higher. And then it will be available after May 22nd. This one will. Module 2 will be available. See, the due date for Module 1 is May 30th. Module 2 will open up the day before Module 1's due date. And Module 3 will open up the day before Module 2's due date. So you do not have access to the whole course at one time. You only have access to 1 week at a time. And that is to kind of force you to really focus on that material and to do it. And all your graded assignments are listed in the overview. So let's see what one of these modules looks like, just so you'll get an idea. So if we go to, once you make that 80 or higher on your syllabus quiz, you'll be officially enrolled in the course, and you will also have access to the modules as they open up and to all the content in them. So if you look at this module, you have the module introduction, you have the general structure, you'll have lecture videos, which are not my videos. I just was hired literally 2 days before classes started, and I have not had time to make videos. So I am using videos from one of the full-time instructors at Craven, and I will also supplement with another link to some other videos too. I will probably not have time to make all the videos this, and I apologize. But you will see me every week, and I am going through this material with you, and I am available to help you. And then you will have a list of the graded assignments. And so you will have Pearson homework to do. And most of your Pearson homeworks are about an hour and a half per chapter. So if you have multiple chapters, you may have 3 hours of Pearson homework. And that's just an estimate by Pearson. It may be less than that for you guys. And then you'll have a forum. And the forum will be, with the exception of a couple of assignments, a forum will be where you have access to some discussion problems. And you will locate the problem that you're assigned using the first letter of your last name. For example, my name is Knight, so I would be doing problem 3, and you will solve problem 3. You will draw all vector diagrams correctly, and you will show all your work. You will round your answers to 2 sig digs, and you will make sure the units are on them. So I would solve this problem, and then you want to save it as either like a JPEG image or as a PDF document. And if you're not familiar with Google, I would just click on this and make a copy of this, and then you can download it, and you can write on it if you want to, or you can copy and paste the problem, or whatever you need to do if you want. But you guys are responsible for all of these problems. These are the example problems that you may see, the types of problems that you would see on a midterm or a final exam in this class. So although you are only assigned to do one for your initial post, then you will pick another one to do it, and then compare your answer to somebody that did it. And so that will be the reply. So 50% of your grade will be that you have posted a complete solution and diagrams to your assigned problem, and 50% will be you responding to somebody that did a different problem by showing me and attaching the work that you did, and comparing it to them. So this is an opportunity if they made a mistake for you to say, hey, I found a resource here. This is where I found this, and this is what I found, and have a kind of a discussion about it with them to help them. So should be an opportunity for you guys to see how to do problems, but you are responsible ultimately for knowing how to do these problems. Because these are fair game types of problems that will be on your exam and your midterm. All right, so with that in mind, then you will have a lab. So most of these, now week 1 you don't have a lab, but week 2 you do have a lab, and these are going to be simulation-based labs. So in week 2 you have a choice of doing lab 1A or 1B. 1B is when you create something. You make something and then you demonstrate it, make a video of it and demonstrate it for us. And then the other one is actually just a simulation lab. So you're going to do these labs, and you're going to want to make sure that you show, if you are supposed to be making a graph, then you need to use something like Google Sheets or MS Excel, and you need to make a graph in it. The graph needs to have labeled axes. So if I tell you to make a graph of force versus distance, force should be on the y-axis. It's measured in newtons, and distance should be on the x-axis. It's measured in meters. And then you'll have data points. And those data points, if it's a line, you need to insert a linear fit or do a linear regression on it. And if it's a quadratic, you need to insert a quadratic regression or insert an inverse regression. So anytime you have data that has a particular mathematical relationship, you want to insert the proper regression fit or linear fit or curve fit, those are all the same thing, into that. And then you will answer the questions, make a screenshot of it, you'll paste it into your lab sheet, etc. And you want to answer your questions in complete sentences. If you have to make a calculation, you want to show all your work making that calculation, and you want to use complete sentences. So you don't want to just give me, one-word answers. You don't want to you want to pretend like this is a real assignment and you are a college student. You're not just half-butt doing it. You want to put your time and energy into it. And then once again, you'll have a form in week 2. So usually you have a homework, a lab, and some kind of discussion grade. And when you get to week 5, you'll be finishing up electric potential and reading through chapter 26, and you only have a homework set for that. You don't have any lab or anything, because that is the week that you will have your midterm. And your midterm is going to be available to you that whole week. Okay, so it's available the whole week. But you have to get it completed by 6/29, which is 2 days after the due date for week 5. And once you open it, it will only be available to you for 3 hours. And there will be 6 problems on it. And those problems will be similar to the ones in your discussion forums. Or when you get up to module 4 here, I have some practice midterm questions for you and some test answers so you can see those. That's from the original full-time instructor. So these are examples of the types of problems that could be on the midterm. And when you get ready to take the midterm, you'll open up the midterm. There will be 1 question on there. There will be a document that has those 6 questions on it. You will download it. You will answer them, show all your work. And then you will submit that as a PDF or images, and then I will grade it. It is worth 15% of your grade, and it is required. You cannot skip the midterm and pass this class. Midterm and finals together they're both 15%, so together it's 30% of the grade, and they are required. If you fail to do them, then you will fail the class. And then we start the next half of the semester. And you'll notice that when we get down to Module 8, we actually start doubling up on the chapters. So in Module 8, you're going to be doing chapters 29 and 30. And in Module 9, you're going to be doing 3 chapters as you wrap up and talk about light. So you will see that you will have more homework. And so you're going to have to really plan to get this material done. And then you will have an exam, and it will cover the second half, modules 6 through 9, and it will be the same format as the midterm. So once again, um, it will be open as soon as week 9 opens, but you have, it's actually, its due date is after week 9's due date is 8/1, and the exam's due date is 8/3. So that does give you some time to prepare and to study. When you do this exam or midterm, that you will be using Respondus Lockdown, so you will not be able to open up other windows or anything like that, and you will want to make sure that you are following instructions on how to do that, and that will be sent out later on. So it's a really fast-paced class, and there's not much I can do about that. It's a tough class in a regular semester. So, and I think you guys know that, and that's why a lot of you guys are taking this class. So avoid taking it at your home college. And then, of course, we always have some early college or dual enrolled students, and we also have some regular community college students. So I just want you to know that I am very interested in your success. And if you get your work done early, then I will grade it early. And if I feel like you need to redo it, I will let you. But I can only do that if you're working ahead. So you want to make sure that you're working ahead. Once again, the modules open up the day before the previous module closes. So you just want to make sure that you are working and are realize that. And unfortunately, that means that if you're going out of town or something, you're not going to be able to work ahead very easily. So you really are going to have to stay on a schedule, and this is so that I will be able to give everybody feedback as they work on their work, and if I need to make changes, because I did only have 2 days to build this class, if I need to make edits or something, I can. You haven't opened up something that I've made edits to that you're not aware of. So reach out to me if you have questions, and I'm looking forward to meeting you guys and to working with you guys. Have a wonderful day.